First thing I'm going to do is remove water out of the tire. So I'm going to drill a hole here and rotate it. That's a big hole. Next thing I'm going to do is drill 4 holes, drainage holes on the side that's going to face down. Going to put it on the highest point on the sidewall. That's all you need to do. That should allow the tire to drain and not fill up with water. I measure the inside diameter of the tire. It's about 24 inches. I want about 4 inches extra on each side, so it's 24 plus 8, and that'll give you 32 inches. That's the diameter I want to make. For the wood that's going to be going on top here. So I'm going to show you how to do that next. See, 32 inches divided by 2, 16. That's going to be a radius. So I'm going to use a string. This is a 16-inch radius. I'm going to put this here, spin it around to make my circle. I'll do that in 1 second. I have the pencil tied. I'm holding the center in. Make sure you don't move the center. Alright. Try to extend the string all the way. I'm not going to give you a perfect circle, but it's going to be decent. Just going to drill a hole so I can start cutting on the circle. Now I'm going to use a jigsaw to actually cut the circle out. Okay, here's the bottom. I'm going to lay it down bottom up so I can get a couple holes started for the center, for the bottom floor. You can center it from this side, just measuring from the edge to edge. Six and a half, 6. Alright, I'm going to use carriage bolts. I'm just going to get 2 started in here. That way I can flip it back over on its side and finish the rest of them. Just drill all the way through, of course, from the wood and into the tire. And you want to be at least about 1 inch off the edge. That way you don't split the wood. I'm actually going to use these this way, but I'm going to just put them in this way for now. That way it'll hold this in place while I set it back on its side. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put those nuts on the inside of the bolt, as I said, just to hold it in place so I can finish the project. When it's done, I'll flip those back the other way. That way the rounded edge is on the inside and not any protruding bolt or anything, because that's the side that the horses will be eating on. Okay, now we'll have these two bolts started. Flip it back down. I'm going to drill out the rest of the holes and then flip it on its side so it can run the carriage side towards the side that they're going to be eating, and then have the blunt side coming down the bottom. So these are going to be flipping when it's all done. So I'm going to drill the rest of the holes out now. Okay, I have everything drilled out. Decided to use 8 bolts. It seems to be the best spacing. You could probably use more if you wanted, but it's probably overkill. Alright, flip it on its side. And then just run the bolts in, and then start the nuts on the other side. Tighten everything up. With using the carriage bolts, the rubber should hold this, hold the bolt still. That way, all you have to do is tighten the other side with a. So you don't need 2 wrenches. You don't need a ratchet and a wrench. You should only need 1 wrench or 1 ratchet, because the rubber should hold the bolt in place while you go tighten it down. Make it really easy for you. So I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna hammer these through. Let's get caught in rubber a little bit. Go through?
Yep.
Okay, all the bolts are in. I'm going to try to set it down gently and get them started. I used 2-inch bolts, but it looks like 2.5-inch bolts would have been better. See how I pulled the bolt up? Now I'm going to loosen it. Because the rubber's holding it in place. That's why you can do this.
Yep.
I flipped the 2 bolts. Now all the bolts are the right way. I drilled a drain hole. And we'll see how that works. 1 hole in the center should be alright, because these holes in the sidewall should actually be the lowest point. I'm going to paint the bottom, the side that faces the ground, just to protect it from rotting a little bit. Not going to paint the other side. You could probably stain it, but I wouldn't recommend painting it, because that might chip off while the horses are eating, possibly. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm just going to use cheap dollar spray paint, and going to do a few layers, probably use a whole can. This paint's not that great. It's been laying around, but it's perfect for this project. Alright, I have it painted. Looks alright. I mean, it's not really for looks anyways, just to help protect it a little bit. So next thing we're going to do is find a nice pedestal to put it on. We're thinking about using a used tire. We're going to try that. We put one of the drain holes on the tire at the lowest point. That way the water can run to it and go down and hopefully not sit in the tire. We put it on top of another tire, and it seems to be pretty good. That tire weighs probably a couple hundred, well, at least 200 pounds. They're not going to move around easily. Okay, the horse has been using it for about 3 weeks, and it seems to be holding up. I got it turned to where it doesn't look like there's any water staying in it, and it seems to work perfectly fine. A lot less hay loss compared to not using a feeder. Fucking dog shit. Try to hold it like this. Yep.